The studio lights blaze down on the Loose Women set, where the audience buzzes with anticipation. It's a special episode, and the panel: Denise Welch, Colleen Nolan, Jane Moore, and Brenda Edwards sits poised, ready to welcome their guest, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. The crowd erupts as Meghan strides in, elegant in a tailored white blazer, her smile radiant yet guarded. Colleen kicks off the introduction, her voice warm but tinged with curiosity. "Meghan, it's been a whirlwind since you stepped back from royal life. How are you finding your new chapter in California?" Meghan's response is measured, her words carefully chosen. "It's been liberating, Colleen. Harry and I are building a life that's true to who we are, focusing on our family and causes we care about." The audience claps, but Denise leans forward, her eyes narrowing. "Meghan, I've got to be honest," she begins, her tone sharp. "Some say you've stirred the pot with your interviews, that Oprah chat, the Netflix series. Don't you think it's a bit hypocritical to ask for privacy while spilling royal secrets?" The crowd gasps, sensing tension. Meghan's smile tightens, but she counters smoothly. "Denise, privacy doesn't mean silence. It means controlling our narrative, not letting the tabloids twist it." Denise scoffs, undeterred, "But you're not exactly shying away from the spotlight, are you?" "That cut interview was saying Harry lost his dad, that's personal, Meghan." The air thickens as Jane tries to interject, but Denise barrels on. "I'm on your side, but I'm sick of the mixed messages." Meghan's composure falters, her voice rising. "Mixed messages? Denise, I've been hounded by the press since day one. You of all people should get what it's like to be judged unfairly." The audience murmurs, split between cheers and boos. Colleen, sensing the escalating drama, tries to steer the conversation. "Let's talk about your new projects, Meghan, your foundation work." But Denise cuts in again. "No, Colleen, let's not dodge this. Meghan, you can't play victim when you're out there airing dirty laundry." Meghan's eyes flash with defiance. "I'm not playing anything, Denise. I'm surviving a media storm you can't imagine." The exchange crackles, and the producer in the control room signals for a break, but the tension is palpable. Social media lights up as viewers tweet their shock. "Denise versus Meghan is wild. #Loose Women." Brenda, usually calm, leans in. "Denise, let her speak." But Denise shakes her head. "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking." Meghan, now visibly frustrated, snaps, "You're not everyone, Denise. You're one voice, and right now, you're part of the problem." The crowd roars, some clapping for Meghan's fire, others for Denise's bluntness. Jane tries to mediate. "Ladies, let's keep it civil." But the argument spirals, with Denise doubling down. "You want respect, Meghan? Then stop throwing the royals under the bus." Meghan retorts, "I'm defending my family, just like you'd defend yours." The studio feels like a powder keg, and the director's voice crackles through the earpieces. Cut to commercial. Now, as the show breaks, whispers spread that Meghan's team is furious, and backstage, producers scramble to manage the fallout. The audience, still buzzing, debates whether Meghan's passion was justified or if Denise's challenge was fair. Twitter explodes with hashtags. #Meghan fights back. #Denise says it all. The stage is set for an even bigger clash when the show resumes, and no one knows how this will end. Back from the commercial break, the Loose Women studio hums with electric tension. The audience, still reeling from the fiery exchange, watches as Meghan Markle adjusts her blazer, her expression a mix of resolve and irritation. Denise Welch, unapologetic, sits back with a steely gaze, while Colleen Nolan tries to reset the mood. "Welcome back, everyone. Let's cool things down and talk about Meghan's work with Art Ewell." But the attempt at peace is short-lived. Denise, unable to resist, jumps in. "Before we move on, Meghan, I've got to ask, why keep poking the bear? Your interviews feel like a jab at the royals every time." Meghan's jaw tightens, and she leans forward, her voice steady but sharp. "Denise, I'm not poking anything. I'm telling my truth. If that makes people uncomfortable, maybe they should ask why." The audience erupts, some cheering Meghan's boldness, others murmuring disapproval. Brenda Edwards, trying to balance the panel, adds, "Meghan, I get you're speaking out, but do you ever worry it fuels the fire? Meghan nods, thoughtful. Of course, Brenda, but silence hasn't worked either. The media twists everything, and I'm done letting them write my story. Denise rolls her eyes, muttering, your story's on every magazine cover, love. Meghan catches it and fires back, and whose fault is that? Not mine. I didn't ask for the paparazzi at my door. The crowd gasps, and Jane Moore jumps in. Meghan, you've said you want to move forward, but these interviews don't they keep you tied to the royal drama? Meghan's response is fierce. Jane, I'm not tied to it, I'm breaking free from it. Every time I speak, it's to reclaim my voice. Denise, undeterred, leans in again. Reclaim your voice? You're shouting from the rooftops while saying you want peace. The argument escalates, and Colleen's pleas for calm are drowned out by the crowd's cheers and boos. Meghan, now standing, points at Denise. You're accusing me of chasing fame, but you're the one turning this into a spectacle. Denise stands too, her voice booming. I'm calling it like I see it, Meghan. You can't have it both ways. The studio erupts, and the producer's voice crackles in the earpieces. This is getting out of hand. Backstage, Meghan's team huddles, whispering about pulling her from the show, while Denise's co-stars exchange worried glances. Social media is ablaze, with fans divided. Meghan's standing her ground. Team Sussex versus Denise is saying what we all think. Loose women. The director signals for another break, but rumors swirl that ITV bosses are stepping in. As the cameras cut, Meghan storms off to her dressing room, and Denise, still fired up, tells Colleen, I'm not backing down. She needs to hear the truth. The audience, buzzing with excitement, speculates whether Meghan will return or if the clash has gone too far. Producers scramble to salvage the episode, but whispers spread that Meghan's team is demanding an apology from Denise. The tension is unbearable, and the internet is flooded with clips of the showdown, trending worldwide. Will Meghan walk back out, or is this the end of her Loose Women appearance? The Loose Women studio is a cauldron of chaos as the show resumes after another tense commercial break. Meghan Markle, now back on set, sits with a steely resolve, her eyes locked on Denise Welch, who remains defiant. Colleen Nolan, desperate to regain control, opens with a strained smile. All right, let's try to move forward. Meghan, tell us about your new Netflix projects. But the audience isn't here for calm. They're on edge, waiting for the next spark. Denise, ignoring Colleen's cue, dives back in. Meghan, you talk about empowerment, but your actions divide people. That spare book, the Netflix doca, aren't you just cashing in on royal gossip? Meghan's face hardens, and she responds with icy precision. Denise, I'm not cashing in. I am building a future for my family, something you'd understand if you faced half the scrutiny I do. The crowd roars, split between support for Meghan's defiance and Denise's bluntness. Brenda Edwards tries to mediate. Denise, maybe we can focus on Meghan's charity work? But Denise shakes her head. No, Brenda, I'm not letting this slide. Meghan, you say you're a victim, but you're playing the game too. Meghan snaps back. I'm not playing any game. I'm fighting to be heard in a world that wants me silenced. The studio erupts, and Jane Moore, usually composed, raises her voice. Ladies, this isn't productive. But the argument spirals, with Denise shouting, you're not silenced. Meghan, you're on global TV. Meghan, now on her feet again, retorts, and you're using this platform to tear me down. The audience is in a frenzy, chanting and clapping, as Colleen begs, please, let's calm down. But the director's voice in the earpieces is grim. We're losing control. Get security ready. Backstage, ITV executives huddle, whispering about cutting the segment short. Meghan's team, furious, demands Denise be reprimanded, while Denise tells a producer, I'm not sorry. She needed to hear it. Social media explodes with memes and hot takes. Meghan just ate Denise. Loose Women and Denise is the queen of no filter. Team Welch. The producer signals for a final attempt to salvage the show, but Meghan, visibly shaken, whispers to her aide, I'm done here. As the cameras roll, Colleen tries one last time. Meghan, what's next for you and Harry? But Meghan, her voice trembling, says, I came here to share my story, not to be attacked. I'm leaving. The audience gasps as she walks off, leaving the panel stunned. Denise, unapologetic, shrugs. She can't handle the truth. The director calls for an abrupt end to the live broadcast, and the screen cuts to a commercial. Twitter goes wild, with #Meghan walks off trending globally. Rumors swirl that ITV has kicked Meghan off to avoid further chaos, while others claim she left voluntarily. The drama dominates headlines, and fans debate whether Denise crossed a line or if Meghan overreacted. The fallout from the loose women clash is immediate and explosive, dominating global headlines and social media. Backstage, Meghan Markle, now in her dressing room, is surrounded by her team, who are livid about the confrontation with Denise Welch. This was supposed to be a positive appearance, her publicist fumes, not a shouting match. Meghan, still shaken, says, "I didn't expect Denise to come for me like that. I'm not here to be ambushed." Meanwhile, Denise, in the green room, doubles down to Colleen Nolan. "I said what needed saying." She can't keep playing the victim card. Colleen, exasperated, responds, "Denise, you pushed too far." This is a PR nightmare. The ITV studio is in disarray, with producers scrambling to address the chaos. News outlets report that Meghan was kicked off the show, though insiders clarify she walked off after refusing to continue. Social media is a battleground. Meghan deserves better. Denise was out of line. #Team Meghan clashes with Denise spoke facts. Meghan can't take criticism. #Loose women. The panel Colleen, Jane, Brenda, and Denise reconvenes for an emergency meeting with ITV bosses, who are furious about the negative publicity. This is loose women, not a boxing ring. One executive snaps. Denise, unrepentant, argues, "I'm not here to coddle guests. I gave my honest opinion." Brenda counters, "There's honest, and then there's hostile." Denise. The debate rages online, with clips of the argument tracking up millions of views. Meghan's team releases a statement. The Duchess attended Loose Women to discuss her work and was disappointed by the confrontational tone. Denise fires back on Twitter, "I call it as I see it." Meghan can't handle tough questions. #No filter. The controversy fuels days of coverage, with pundits dissecting every word. Some praise Denise for her candor, citing her history of defending Meghan as proof she's not biased. Others slam her for turning a daytime show into a battleground. Meghan, back in California, appears on a podcast, hinting at the ordeal. "I went on that show to connect, not to fight." Some people thrive on drama. The Loose Women ratings soar, but ITV faces backlash for letting the segment spiral. Fans speculate about a potential apology episode, but Denise tweets, "No regrets. I stand by every word." The saga cements her as a polarizing figure, while Meghan's supporters rally around her resilience. The internet hums with debates, memes, and think pieces, ensuring the Loose Women clash remains the talk of the town for weeks.